Okay, so I'm gonna restate that one more time. Um, quiz 6 is due tonight. Make sure you get quiz 6 done tonight. And be sure that you do your initial post for discussion number 7. So you make sure you get that done. And make sure that if you have externship next month, you've taken care of that paperwork. And remember your meeting for tomorrow. If you have a class next month, make sure you can see it. If you don't see it and you're confident that you have a class, reach out to Matt. If you have 2 classes you're supposed to be taking, reach out to Miss Thomas. Just make sure you don't have any paperwork that you have to sign. Um, and I don't know if you all remember it or not, but next week is supposed to be your break week. If I'm incorrect on that, I will make sure I correct that, but I'm almost for sure next week is your break week. I know it's kind of strange because I agree. Normally, we have the first week off in July. And lately, it had kind of been like that, but this year, for whatever reason, the way the calendar fell, next week is actually your break week. So that means if you have class next month, or if you have externship next month, classes will start on July 3rd. Then July 4th will be a holiday, and then classes will resume back on July 5th. So if you have a class, and I just know this up front so I can go ahead and tell you, if you have a class next month and it's online, your particular schedule for that week, and of course, if it's a class that I'm teaching, I'm going to send an email to the students. But if you have a class next month and it's online, your actual days of meeting will be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You won't have anything due on that Tuesday. Now for me, I will still open up homework and stuff on Monday, and you're more than welcome to submit stuff on Tuesday, but you don't have to. That's actual school holiday. So when it comes to your daily assignment that you do each day, you're going to have one that first week only for Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then after then, we go back to the traditional schedule of Monday through Thursday, having that daily assignment each day. So I just want to remind you about that, that next week is your break week. If I were you, I would take full advantage of it, do just what I want to do. Don't do nothing, because I'm sure it's been 3 months. You want that rest. I want it. We all need it. So make sure that you take good advantage of that. And I'm almost for sure that is to happen next week. Okay, so with that being said, when we finish today's meeting, of course, your journal is going to be due tonight. But if you don't get it turned in tonight, I do give that 1 day extension. You can turn it in tomorrow night with no penalty attached to it. But it has to be turned in tomorrow at the latest. Chapter 10 homework, if you haven't already completed that, that is due this week. I want to say on Wednesday. Okay, so y'all have any questions so far before I continue on?
No.
Okay. Now, for tomorrow, tomorrow is the day that I have designated myself to allow time for you to come to campus to get your final project done. I am going to make myself available to be there at 10. 10 if I am late, it's probably like 5 or 10 minutes. But I plan on being there at 10 a.m. in the morning, and I'm gonna be in room 213. So now I checked the room for 213. There's not a problem with me in there at night. And right now, I don't see anybody there in the morning time. So if there happens to be somebody in there, it's got to be somebody that's just using the room for the time being. If that be the case, and we can't get in there in the morning, I'll try to find another room on the second floor, or my next plan B, will be to find a room on the fourth floor, and I'll just get security to open the door for me. So worst case scenario, if we can't go into 13, we'll choose a room on the fourth floor, or another room on the second floor. Um, And then too, if all of that fails, or if I just don't want you to have to go to the fourth floor, we can always go to the library. There's rarely anybody in there. And so I'm okay with that. You can pretty much work on the project together. It's okay because everybody's gonna have a different patient anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So what whatever documents Stephanie you have, Kiana may not have them, Taquita may not have them, Danielle may not have them. You may have some documents the same, won't be the same information because they're different patients, but the actual document itself may be the same. So even though you may be working with each other, your sole reliability is on your book. I can't help you with anything. I will give you everything that you need, and then you've got to put the chart together. So I'm going to work today to make sure that I get all of the patient documents together. I will have the folder for you to put the documents in. And the folder is actually going to be a three-prong folder because this is all makeshift type stuff. So it'll be a three-prong folder. It may have pockets to it, but you won't be putting anything in the pockets. I'm going to make sure, try to get the labels printed for your patient so that you can have your addressograph patient labels. I will make sure that you have cover sheets that you're supposed to have for the different sections. So I'm telling you these things because what I told students to do, and I tell them all the time, go back through chapter 6 and make sure you review. I didn't say you had to memorize. You need to review what information is classified as administrative data, clinical data, and other supporting data that has like your ancillary reports and things of that nature. I have asked students to do that because that's what your project is going to consist of, putting together a full patient chart with all of that information. So the cover sheets is the sheets that divide the sections into the administrative, clinical, and your other section. But if you hadn't read the book, you don't know what goes in that section. And one of the important pieces that you're going to have to remember is that for any documentation that you have that has dates on it, so like say for instance a lot of your lab reports or your ancillary reports, x-ray reports, and things of that nature, you have to put those in order with the current date on top. And I've had students that didn't do that. They put the oldest date on top. You can't do that. Anytime you file in a patient's chart, current information is always on the top. Why? Because that's what the doctor's looking at. Where's my patient currently? If and when he wants to look back at previous, he'll do that on his own. But for your case, you have to make sure everything has the most current information on the top. So we'll meet in 2:13 in the morning. If you running a few minutes late, if you an hour late, if you 2 hours late, it's not a big deal because my plans is to be there at 10, and of course, I will be having plenty of caffeine because I have to stay there until 9 p.m. because I have a night class. So if something happens and you can't come to the morning session, and you can't get there till like 2 or 3, here's what you need to do. If you can't be there, so let's say for instance 10 o'clock and you're not there by 10:30, you're going to have to call me. Because I'm not going to sit in the room from 10 to 9. That I'm not going to do. What I'm basically going to do is come in there at 10, 10:15, try to give everybody a little time to get there. And for whoever's there, if it's one person, 2 people, I'm going to give you the instruction sheet and everything that you need for the project. And I'm going to let you be. I don't stand over students and I do not micromanage. I'm going to let you put your chart together. You're going to know what you got to turn in to me, and you will know what you got to put in the Dropbox because there's pieces of information that has to go into the Dropbox. And there is no way you're going to be able to put it in the Dropbox unless you come see me because I have that information that needs to go in there. So I'll do all that and then I'll go back to my desk. And so what you will have to do is make sure as soon as you finish your project, you bring it to me. If you leave campus and don't turn your project into me, that is a problem. That's going to be like a 0 because the project is designed for it to be done on campus. You can't take it home and bring it back to me. That's not going to work. You have to do it while you're on campus, which is why I have Pacific rooms. So whatever room I designate, if it's 213, if it's a room, another room on the second floor, a room on the fourth floor, or the library, those are the only places that you are to be. Because periodically I will probably come in there and check on you just to make sure you're okay. So no, you can't get your information and take it home and then want to bring it back to me tomorrow. No, that is a 0. You're not going to be able to do that. And that's why I made myself available to the students so you wouldn't have to do that. Um, and so, and besides, if you have questions and stuff, the only way you're going to get those questions answered, you're going to have to come to my desk and see me because I know you're on campus. Or you can call me and ask me to come down to the room to help you out. But you can't call me from the house and say, "Hey, no." Mm-mm. So that's what's going to take place tomorrow. Then on Wednesday you're going to have um Wednesday you're going to have an activity to do, and the activity is on it's like a HIPAA true false little activity on releasing patient information, and I want to say a couple of activities from chapter 10. You're also going to have one additional homework assignment for this week. Um, and I will try to get that open today. But if it doesn't open today, it'll open in the morning. And even still, when it opens, you will have until Thursday night, 10 p.m. to complete it because it's going to be set up like an exam, so it'll auto grade itself. That will happen Wednesday in your last homework assignment. And then Wednesday, you have your last threaded discussion, which will be Wednesday and Thursday. So your initial post is going to be Wednesday, and I have your final posting. I'm giving you until 10 o'clock on Thursday night. And then the only thing you got to do actually on Thursday is your end of term event and your final exam. And then if you haven't finished your last apply your knowledge, it's an apply your knowledge homework assignment. If you haven't finished that, you'll do all of that by 10 p.m. on Thursday. And that is, let's see, I think that's pretty much it. Yep. Y'all have any questions? Or did I go too fast? Anything you need me to repeat?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for us, the meeting. I don't have anything else. There's not anything new per se that we're doing. Um, so you should do it.
Okay. What day the final is?
Huh?
Are we having a final outside the final project?
Oh yeah, that's on Thursday. That's on Thursday. You probably didn't hear me. That was on Thursday. It's on Thursday.
All right. Well, that's all I need to know.
Yeah, your final exam is on Thursday. That's online. The only day you come to campus this week it'll be Tuesday. Just do your final. But everything after then, everything else is online. So I'll just be waiting for it. That's pretty much it.
All right.
You know, the final exam starts with chapter 6. It don't go all the way back. It's not comprehensive. It picks up with 6 and it goes 6 to 10.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it, ladies.
All right.
So, are y'all doing y'all stuff y'all supposed to be doing for graduation?
What you mean?
So, you supposed to be ordering cap, gown, all that stuff.
I done got all my stuff.
Oh, okay. Kiana,
I haven't got mine yet.
who you waiting on?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Keep on. Okay. You do know there's a deadline, right?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna let you work that. You know it's a deadline. I'm gonna let you handle it. I'm gonna leave that alone. Stay in my lane. Leave it alone. I ain't gonna bother that. You obviously know what you're doing. Okay. So just y'all just make sure you check your email on a regular basis because they're constantly sending that kind of information out. So just do make sure that you're really staying on top of that because this is going to be the last one. And if you want to participate in it, you got to make sure you get all your stuff together so that you can participate. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, ladies. Well, you all have a wonderful day. Call me this week if you need anything. If not, I will see you all in the morning, sometime after 10.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Well,
Mhm.
Bye bye.